everyone. This is Karen.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Shane.
Today we're looking at part 2 of Lithuania,
Europe's best-kept secret.
And the vocabulary words are nationality.
Nationality.
People of all races and nationalities are welcome in this country.
Costume.
Costume.
It was cold outside, so Billy had to wear a jacket over his Halloween costume.
Mushroom.
Mushroom.
Some types of mushrooms are not safe to eat.
Attraction.
Attraction.
The elephants are the main attraction of the zoo. Woo.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
According to most scientists, nuclear power is completely safe.
Largely.
Largely.
The delay in finishing the project is largely Randy's fault.
Oh, no, Randy.
Randy.
Okay, so we're still talking about this beautiful, beautiful country called Lithuania.
Yeah, so where are we going to go today in Lithuania?
Well, we are going to go to Trakai.
Trakai, that's an interesting name.
That's right.
Is there lots of things we could track with our eyes?
Well, I guess you can track a lot of people with different nationalities.
Oh, that's true. And maybe you can use your eyes to track some natural beauty.
You are definitely right.
I heard there's a lot of water there.
There are 200 lakes, around 200 lakes. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I can just imagine how beautiful that would be. And so during the winter time when the lakes are frozen, here comes the fun part.
Ooh.
Here comes the Winter Festival.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
tell us something cool about this Winter Festival.
The coolest thing are these scary costumes that they wear.
Like everybody wears scary?
I think a lot of people.
Locals.
I've never been to the festival, but I've seen pictures. And the costume or mask they wear on their face are really creepy. Oh, it's really cool.
That is so fun. And then you can also get a lot of delicious treats too.
Ooh, I heard you have to try the potato dumpling.
Definitely. That's filled with, I remember, meat, cheese, and sometimes mushrooms
Ooh, that
too.
would be really good during the winter. Nice warm dumpling. Ooh, okay.
Okay, it's so fun.
So you want to go to Lithuania now, don't you?
I bet you do.
We'll see you there.
All right.
Lithuania, Europe's best-kept secret.
A short distance to the west of Vilnius is the city of Trakai, a popular lake resort. Historically, Trakai was a capital city, home to people of many nationalities. Today, visitors can relax at one of the 200 lakes in the area, or visit a 14th century stone castle built on a tree-lined island.
Today's lesson is called Lithuania, Europe's Best Kept Secret, Part 2. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. And yes, we're in Lithuania, one of the lesser known and less popular tourist destinations in Europe, but one you should definitely consider going to. A lot of people, they love to go to Europe because of the history, right? We love to see these old countries and the old buildings and all that stuff. Well, Lithuania, it's been a country called Lithuania for more than 1,000 years. And inside the capital city, they have the Old Town, one of the few remaining old medieval cities in Europe, and it's so old that it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You can walk around like basically in a museum in the middle of the capital of Lithuania.
That's all well and good, Mike, but I just got to thinking.
Yeah.
Lithuania.
Yes.
It's been around for more than 1,000 years.
Older than me.
And me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
How has it managed to remain Europe's best-kept secret? How did this secret not get out?
Well, it's small, so it's easy to miss on a map, and it was very close to the Soviet Union or Russia, so for a long time, people probably couldn't really go there easily. But now everything's opened up. There's a lot of freedom there. They've had their independence for a generation already, and tourists are flocking to Lithuania and the other Baltic countries.
There you go. Anyways, Yesterday we talked mostly about Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. Let's go ahead and move on and talk about another city in Lithuania.
Ah, good idea. Yeah, let's get out of the capital, get away from some of the touristy areas there and see other parts of this great country. It says a short distance to the west of Vilnius is the city of Trakai, a popular lake resort. Ooh, so this is a good place to go and get some of that fresh Lithuanian air that I've never really heard about, but I'm sure it is very fresh and clean. A nice lake area, good place for camping and other stuff like that. And some culture too, don't worry. It says historically, Trakai was a capital city home to people of many nationalities. Wow, so it was kind of an international city. Maybe they had a big harbor, a port there, and boats from all over the Baltic would come to this area. Because if we talk about nationality, we're talking about someone's country. Your passport shows your nationality. When someone says, hey, where are you from? What country are you from? You're telling them your nationality. When we watch the Olympics, all the athletes, they're not playing for professional teams or something like that. They're playing for their countries, and they wear their nationality on their shirt and with their flag and all that kind of stuff.
Canadian.
American.
Those are our nationalities.
That's right.
There you go. Anyway, let's move back a bit and look at the example sentence for the noun nationality. People of all races and nationalities are welcome in this country. That's nice.
That is nice.
That's a nice example sentence.
All right.
Anyways, back though to Lithuania and Trakai. Today, visitors can relax at one of the 200 lakes in the area. That's not a typo. There are 200 lakes in the area. Or visit a 14th century stone castle built on a tree-lined island. Wow, those things. They both sound great, especially the whole 200 lakes thing. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。立陶宛是比较鲜为人知、比较不热门的欧洲旅游景点。不过，这个国家拥有丰富的文化历史，它有独特的吸引力。Mike 老师在开场的时候，他用到复合形容词 lesser known， 它其实是 little known 的比较级，用来表达说比较不为人知的。好，那么第一天的课文带我们去造访首都维尔纽斯，我们接着要来到首都西边的城市，叫做特拉凯市。那么在历史上，特拉凯曾经是许多民族的首都，如今它是一个很受欢迎的湖滨度假胜地。这个区域啊，它有200个湖泊诶。那来到这里，你就可以去造访其中一个湖泊，去那边放松休息，或者是去参观一座14世纪的石堡。那这个城堡呢，它是建造在一个树木林立的岛上。在那个湖泊啊，还有倒影的衬托之下，看起来真的很像童话故事里面的场景耶，超美的。好，这边有一个单字是 nationality， 它表示民族或是国籍。接华课文中
Lithuania, Europe's best kept secret.
When the lakes are frozen, you can join a colorful yearly winter festival. Locals dress in frightening costumes, dance, and eat a traditional festival food, pancakes. However, Lithuanian food is not always so sweet. Most regional dishes typically feature root vegetables, such as potatoes and beets, as well as meat and bread. One must-try item is potato dumplings stuffed with meat, cheese, or mushrooms.
Okay, Trakai. 200 lakes. Okay, if you go to Trakai, yes, there are 200 lakes in that particular area. I can't get my mind around this number. 200 lakes. Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of lakes, yeah.
That's a lot of lakes in one place.
I don't think you're expected to go and see all of them, but seeing a couple of them would be pretty great. And if you are there in the winter, which I think our trip is taking place during the winter, it says when the lakes are frozen, you can join a colorful yearly winter festival. Yeah, you might think, hey, it's the winter, I can't swim in the lake, I can't fish in the lake, what the heck can I do in the lake? Well, don't worry, they have winter festivals that happen near or even maybe on the frozen lakes, and maybe there's some ice skating involved too. But we do know about some of the other things. It says locals dress in frightening costumes, dance, and eat a traditional festival food, pancakes. So if you want to see dancing monsters eating pancakes, Lithuania is the place to go.
So basically this festival is Halloween plus breakfast.
Yes, with some dancing involved.
Scary
too.
costumes
Yeah.
and pancakes.
Yeah.
Got it. Sounds awesome. Anyways, here we're talking about a costume. A costume is a set of clothes that you wear to look like someone or something else. Now, is a costume a disguise? Not necessarily. If you want people to not recognize you, or if you want to be a spy or something like that, you might wear a disguise. But if it's Halloween and you want to dress up like a witch or a mummy or something, you would put on a costume. For example, it was cold outside, so Billy had to wear a jacket over his Halloween costume, so no one could see his costume. That's terrible.
That's
you know what's not terrible? Halloween plus breakfast in Lithuania.
Absolutely. Pancakes are great no matter what clothes you are wearing. It says, however, Lithuanian food is not always so sweet, so don't expect it just to be pancakes and cakes and pies and donuts and stuff like that. Their food is not always so sweet like pancakes. Most regional dishes typically feature root vegetables such as potatoes and beets, as well as meat and bread. So good hearty food. Very nice to have in a cold day, right? Eating this type of food. But yeah, don't expect it to be too light. Expect kind of German style or Russian style food. A lot of potatoes, beets, meat, bread, stuff like that.
And there's something, though, you can't miss, though.
What's that? What's that?
There's one must-try item there that you have to go for.
Not the pancakes?
You have to give it a shot.
Not the pancakes.
Not the pancakes.
Okay, what is it? Hit me.
One must-try item is potato dumplings stuffed with meat, cheese, or mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Let's talk about mushrooms. These are a very simple type of plant, a whole family of plants, and we eat them with our salads. We cook with them. They have a rich kind of flavor. You can have the long, skinny, white enoki mushrooms that you put in your hot pot. You can have the brown mushrooms with an earthier taste. Don't eat all mushrooms because some of them can be very poisonous, but mushrooms are something that people use in cooking in many different ways. Some people like them, some people don't. I personally find them delicious, but mushrooms are definitely a food you would want to check out in a dumpling. Why not? For example, good tip here, some types of mushrooms are not safe to eat. I think there's one called the death cap mushroom.
Yes, sometimes.
Yeah, don't eat a death cap mushroom.
Sometimes mushrooms can kill you. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be back soon.
好，接着我们就来看看立陶宛有什么好吃好玩的。课文写到说，当湖泊结冰的时候，可以去参加有趣的年度冬季节庆。好。当地人呢，他们就会穿吓人的服装，然后这边跳舞呢，然后还会吃传统的节庆食物，就是薄煎饼，就是那种像圆圆扁扁的松饼那一种，感觉很棒很好玩哎。那么 Jeff 老师刚刚用到 awesome 来形容这个节庆，就是说令人赞叹的、绝佳的、很棒的，它是拼作 awesome， 这是很常见的形容词 awesome。好，再来看单字 costume。Costume 它可以表达说是表演服装，或者是可能指某个历史时期的服装。好，那我们刚刚说到薄煎饼，感觉是很甜的食物嘛，但是立陶宛呢的食物并非都是甜的，其实大部分的地方菜都是有这种，主要是这种马铃薯啊和甜菜根等等那种根茎类的食物，然后还有肉和面包。而有一道必吃的料理是马铃薯饺子，它的内馅会塞满肉、cheese 还有蘑菇之类的。好，那么单字 mushroom 就是蘑菇。 Mike 老师刚刚说的 enoki mushrooms 是指金针菇，还有说到 death cap 是一种毒菇，中文好像是叫做毒鹅膏。好，另外老师有用到2个形容词来描述食物，我们可以学起来哦。一种是 earthy。earthy 是形容有土味的，那这个字也可以形容是泥土的。还有下一个形容词 hearty， 就是 heart 后面加上 y，hearty 是形容丰盛的、大量的。好，接回到课文中。
Lithuania, Europe's best kept secret.
Lithuania's chilly climate lends itself to filling foods, and it also creates vast natural beauty. Lovers of the outdoors will appreciate walking along the Curonian Spit, a long strip of sand stretching into the Baltic Sea and all the way to Russia. Lastly, Žemaitija National Park offers a secret attraction, a tour of a former nuclear missile base. Indeed, it's often Lithuania's largely overlooked places that draw lucky travelers to this exceptional country.
You know how Mike and I were saying that you need to bring a jacket, okay, if you're going to go to Lithuania? We weren't joking around about that, okay? Lithuania's chilly climate lends itself to filling foods, and it also creates vast natural beauty, okay? Now, go ahead, fill up, feel warm inside, but also put on that jacket if you want to experience that vast natural beauty out there, because yes, it's going to get cold in Lithuania.
Absolutely. We've already visited the area with 200 lakes. We've eaten our dumplings, so now it's time to get back out there into the cold and look at this beautiful country in different areas. It says lovers of the outdoors will appreciate walking along the Curonian Spit. The Curonian Spit. Now, we're not talking about mouth water. No, we're not talking about that kind of spit. We're talking about a piece of land. What is a spit? A long strip of sand stretching into the Baltic Sea and all the way to Russia. That is actually a spit as well. If we're talking about geography or maps or something like that, we can talk about a spit as a long strip of land that stretches into the sea. In this case, the Baltic Sea, and it goes all the way to Russia. Wow, very interesting. But basically, if you're on it, imagine yourself walking on a very narrow piece of land with water on both sides. It's cold, you're full of dumplings, you must be on the Curonian Spit.
Now, lastly, Žemaitija National Park offers a secret attraction, a tour of a former nuclear missile base, and I hope I didn't butcher the name of that particular national park. I apologize to any of our Lithuanian listeners. Anyways, here we have the word attraction to talk about. The word attraction here refers to something that brings tourists in. People want to visit an attraction. Now, you can talk about physical attraction between two different people, let's say. They cannot fall in love because they're attracted to one another. But here, this is more like a draw, something that brings the tourists and the visitors in. That's what an attraction is in this particular situation. For example, the elephants are the main attraction of the zoo. The other animals are pretty boring. I believe it's mostly like tapirs and raccoons. But hey, the elephants, they're awesome. They're a great attraction for the zoo.
Interesting. Well, that's a pretty typical attraction. A less typical attraction is a nuclear missile base, because when we think of things that are nuclear or nuclear powered, we think of sort of dangerous energy. Nuclear is talking about atoms, talking about those very, very tiny things that Albert Einstein discovered so much about and taught us so much about. Nuclear is the power behind the atomic bomb that the Americans dropped on Japan at the end of World War II. Nuclear power stations are very controversial. The Fukushima nuclear power station in Japan a few years ago had many problems because of an earthquake. And we also have nuclear submarines and nuclear missiles that armies and countries countries use to, cause problems or threaten war with. So a nuclear missile base, this would probably be a submarine place or where they had rockets back during the Cold War. It's an army base, but they had nuclear weapons, atomic weapons, these very powerful weapons that use the power of the atom. Nuclear is the adjective we use to talk about things about that type of science. For example,
According to most scientists,
nuclear power is completely safe. Well, it is until something goes terribly wrong, in which case it then becomes very dangerous.
Indeed, it's often Lithuania's largely overlooked places that draw lucky travelers to this exceptional country. Now, before we move on here, let's talk about the adverb largely. Largely means for the most part. For example, the delay in finishing the project is largely Randy's fault. It was mostly Randy's fault. The reason there was the delay, point the finger at Randy, because Randy, he's not good when it comes to getting things done on time. He almost ruined the project. He's largely responsible for that. Anyways, that's the end of our article, but I do believe we've got a question coming up. So, Mike, which of Lithuania's attractions mentioned in the article would you like to check out?
Dumplings. I mean, if I go to Lithuania...
Dumplings as an attraction?
I skipped breakfast today,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm just thinking about the dumplings. But no, if I go to Lithuania, I'd love to see the Vilnius Old Town and Trakai, because I kind of like history stuff. So Vilnius Old Town and some lakes and maybe in between some dumplings. But all of it. I think I'd check out all of it because it all sounds great.
Trakai, the land of 200 lakes.
200. Yeah, and pancakes
That's
and
where
dancing
I would
monsters. Yeah. Great.
I would go to Trakai for all of those reasons.
All of those things. That's right.
Anyways, folks, with that, our lesson has now come to an end, and it's time for us to say bye-bye.
Take care.
同学们喜欢从事户外活动吗？如果你是喜爱户外活动的人，你会很享受沿着库尔斯沙嘴散步。它是一条狭长的沙地，有延伸到波罗的海，并且一路到俄罗斯。那么另外一个推荐的秘密景点则是前核弹基地。哇，这个景点很令人意想不到吧？那我们这边先补充一下哦，文中它有用到 appreciate 这个动词。它有感谢、感激的意思，不过在这边呢，它是指欣赏、赏识。我们来造个例句 ：Her mother taught her to appreciate classical music。她的母亲教导她如何欣赏古典乐。好，那这边再来看两个课文单字 ，attraction。Attraction， 它表示具有吸引力的地方，或是事物，或是景点。那当这个意思的时候是可数名词，我们也可以用 attraction 来当不可数名词去表达吸引力。好，再来看 nuclear。nuclear 是形容核能的、核武器的，像 nuclear missile 表示核弹，那么 nuclear submarine 表示核子动力潜艇，还有 nuclear power plant 表示核电厂。Mike 老师刚刚提到说核电厂是具有争议性的，老师用到 controversial 这个字，我们来拼一下 controversial。controversial 就可以形容是具有争议的、引发争议的。好，那么课文最后写到说，的确，常常就是立陶宛在很大程度被忽略的景点，吸引着幸运的旅人来到这个非凡的国家。那么单字 largely 就是表达主要的、大致上或是在很大程度上，是一个副词。好，我们最后来看三个重点。第一个 Indeed 这个副词就表示的确、确实，像是 Indeed she has a beautiful voice， 她的确有优美的歌声。第二个重点是分列句的用法。分列句呢是把原本句子要强调的部分摆在 it is 和 that 之间，或是 it was 和 that 之间。那么强调的部分可以是你原本句子里面的主词、受词、时间副词或是地方副词等等。然后我们接着再把原本句子里面其余的部分摆到 that 之后。好，我们来看它的句型就是 it is 或是 it was 加上强调的部分，加上 that 再加句子其余的部分。 例如 The song reminded them of their wedding day. 好，那我们现在用分列句去强调它的主词 the song， 那么句子就会写作 It was the song that reminded them of their wedding day. 就是那首歌让他们想起婚礼的那一天。第三个重点 draw somebody to something 或是 into something 表示使某人对某事物感兴趣。像我们可以造这样的例句The smell of fresh bread drew me to the bakery section. 新鲜刚烤好的面包香味把我吸引到烘焙区了。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Wow, it sure is high up here on Tokyo Tower. I can see the whole city from up here. This tower was built in 1958. It's for TV and radio signals. The tower looks like the Eiffel Tower in France. That is because it was inspired by it. There are a lot of earthquakes and typhoons in Tokyo, but this tower is very strong. It won't fall down even in a strong earthquake. Tokyo Tower is painted white and bright orange. These colors help pilots see it easily. The tower is a famous sightseeing spot in Tokyo. It has 2 observatories. A 4-story building is at the bottom of Tokyo Tower. People can ride fast elevators to the top of Tokyo Tower. Tokyo Tower was the tallest tower in Japan for many years. Now, there is an even taller one in Tokyo called the Tokyo Skytree. That tower is 634 meters tall. It's almost double the height of Tokyo Tower.
See you next time!